When you think of rulers of the forest, you probably imagine wolves or bears, maybe something fast, something aggressive. But in the northern forests, dominance doesn't look like speed or spectacle. It looks like mass, patience, leverage, because there's one animal that doesn't need to chase, doesn't need to roar, and doesn't need to prove anything. An animal so structurally optimized for cold, snow, and survival that even predators think twice. By the end of this video, you'll understand why nothing truly challenges a healthy adult moose and why the North quietly bends around it. If you think a moose survives because it's lucky, you're already underestimating it. A full-grown bull moose can weigh over 600 kilograms, with shoulders higher than a grizzly bear on all fours. But this isn't just size for intimidation. Every kilogram serves a purpose. And that purpose is winter dominance. Look at the legs first. Long, dense, pillar-like. They aren't built for sprinting across open plains. They're engineered for something far more specific, moving through snow that swallows wolves whole. While predators burn energy just staying upright, a moose walks forward with quiet, deliberate stability. Step, sink, lift, advance. No panic, no rush. That's not clumsy design. That's terrain control. Now shift to the torso. Heavy, barrel-shaped, almost disproportionate. It houses an enormous digestive system capable of extracting energy from twigs, bark, and aquatic plants most animals ignore. Moose are ruminants, meaning they ferment plant material in specialized stomach chambers. Low-quality food becomes long-term fuel. In winter, when calories are scarce and temperatures turn lethal, the moose doesn't chase energy. It slows down, conserves, outlasts. Even the neck tells the same story. Thick with muscle, built for leverage. It carries massive antlers and pushes through dense brush without hesitation. The long, sloped head isn't elegant, it's efficient, designed to strip leaves with mechanical precision. Compared to elk, deer, even bison, the difference becomes obvious. Those animals rely on speed, herds, or open terrain. The moose relies on mass and environmental advantage. It doesn't flee easily, because it doesn't have to. From a distance, it looks awkward, almost slow. Up close, it's something else entirely. A siege engine powered by leaves. And once you understand that, the salad part stops being funny and starts being terrifying. If you think moose antlers are just oversized decorations, you're missing the point. They're not ornaments, they're infrastructure. Every year, a bull moose grows up to 30 kilograms of bone on its head, one of the fastest tissue growth rates in the mammal world. Not for beauty, not even primarily for killing. For control. When two bulls meet in autumn, they don't charge like duelists trying to impale each other, they collide like machinery. Antlers lock, shoulders brace. The sound doesn't echo like a fight. It cracks, like trees splitting under pressure. This isn't chaos, it's negotiation by force. And here's the part most people never consider. Every spring, that entire structure begins again from nothing. At first, it's soft. Living bone wrapped in velvet, a layer packed with blood vessels and nerves. During this phase, the antlers are sensitive, fragile, and growing at an almost absurd rate. Damage them now, and the final shape can warp permanently. Which means for months, the bull walks through dense forest carrying what is essentially an exposed construction site on its skull. Then summer fades. Blood flow stops. The velvet dries and peels away. What was once soft becomes hardened bone wide, heavy, architectural. By autumn, the span can stretch wider than the animal's own body. Trails narrow, brush bends, space reorganizes. But notice something critical. Moose antlers aren't sharp like a stag's. They aren't spears. They're blunt. Crowbars, not daggers. Bulls don't stab rivals. They twist. They talk. They push until leverage decides the winner. Often, no blood is spilled. One animal simply realizes the physics are against him and steps back. Dominance. settled economically. Then winter passes, and the antlers fall, dropped like scaffolding after a fortress is finished, left behind, gnawed by rodents for calcium, recycled into the forest floor, which means every year the most imposing weapon in the northern woods is temporary, built, used, discarded, and rebuilt again. Wolves are built for precision. They're coordinated, strategic, relentless. And yet, when an adult moose stands its ground, even a wolf pack hesitates. Not because the moose is faster, because it doesn't need to be. An adult moose doesn't win by outrunning wolves. It wins by making the cost unbearable. Those long rear legs aren't just for snow travel, they're weapons. When they swing forward, they do it with shocking speed. And when they connect, the result isn't minor damage. It's shattered ribs, broken jaws, crushed skulls. For a wolf pack, that's not just an injury, that's a long-term liability. Lose one hunter and the entire group feels it. In the wild, survival is math. Every hunt is a calculation, calories gained versus risk absorbed. And a healthy bull moose is high risk. Watch how wolves approach one. They don't rush blindly. They circle, they test, they wait. They look for the variables that shift the equation in their favor: deep snow, visible exhaustion, a limp, isolation from cover. If those conditions aren't there, they leave. No dramatic chase, no heroic standoff. Just a quiet recalculation. And when wolves do commit, it's rarely about overpowering the moose. It's about draining it. Harassment over hours, forcing movement through deep snow, turning endurance into the battleground. Even then, the final moments are volatile. A cornered moose doesn't panic. It plants, and it fights. Compare that to deer or elk hunts. Those are about speed and coordination. Quick collapses, clean takedowns. Moose hunts are different. They're wars of attrition. And even successful hunts often leave wolves limping long after the meat is gone. This isn't predator versus prey, it's risk versus reward. And most days, the moose wins without taking a single step, by simply standing there and letting the forest do the math. If you want to understand why the moose rules the north, don't watch it in summer. Watch it in winter. This is where the balance shifts. Deep snow doesn't just slow predators, it cripples them. Every step costs energy. Every chase burns calories they can't easily replace. Movement becomes expensive. For a moose, it becomes efficient. When snow rises to chest height for deer and wolves, it barely brushes a moose's knees. Those long legs don't just elevate the body, they rewrite the physics of winter. Each stride covers more ground. Each step sinks less. While wolves punch through crust and scramble for footing, a moose moves forward with controlled, deliberate stability. No rush, no waste. And that difference compounds by the hour. Cold brings another advantage. Moose aren't built to shed heat, they're built to trap it. Their thick, hollow fur captures air so effectively that snow can rest on their backs without melting. That's not a picturesque detail. That's insulation, working perfectly. While predators burn calories just to stay warm, moose reduce output. They enter a biological low-power mode. Move less, conserve more. Let the season do the work. Even food scarcity tilts in their favor. Delicate vegetation disappears under snow, but moose don't depend on delicate food. They browse woody plants, twigs, bark, shrubs. Material that looks inedible to most animals becomes steady fuel. Their ruminant system extracts energy slowly but reliably. And reliability beats speed when the temperature drops below zero. Predators feel the imbalance immediately. Wolves must hunt more frequently to offset what winter drains from them. Every failed attempt is costly. Every injury is magnified by the cold. A healthy moose in winter isn't easy prey. It's a moving fortress. Cornering one doesn't guarantee a kill. It guarantees exhaustion. Across the ecosystem, behavior adjusts. Bears retreat, smaller herbivores struggle. Wolves calculate more carefully. The moose remains. Standing. Waiting. Winter doesn't make the moose powerful. It reveals that the season was built around it all along. There's one opponent the moose was never designed to face. Not wolves. Not winter. Highways. Car collisions with moose are among the deadliest wildlife accidents in the world. Not because moose attack vehicles, but because physics doesn't negotiate, and physics doesn't care who evolved for what. Here's the problem. Most vehicles are engineered to handle impact low to the ground. Crumple zones absorb force at bumper level. Hoods are shaped to deflect smaller animals upward and away from passengers. That works for deer. It doesn't work for moose. A moose stands so tall that when a car hits it, the bumper strikes only the legs. Thin, long, weight-bearing legs. They collapse instantly. And then hundreds of kilograms of muscle and bone drop directly onto the windshield and roof. At highway speed, that isn't a collision. It's structural failure. The animal's center of mass comes through the glass. The cabin absorbs the impact. The moose often tumbles off and, astonishingly, sometimes walks away. The people inside rarely have that option. In northern regions, those yellow road signs with the silhouette of a moose aren't decorative. They're warnings, written in statistics, reinforced windshields, roadside fencing, seasonal speed limits, entire engineering solutions built around one animal. And still, the mismatch remains. What makes it more unsettling is the moose's behavior. It doesn't dart away like a deer. It doesn't sprint at the last second. Often, it freezes in headlights confused by brightness and engine noise. Standing still works against predators. Against a 2-ton vehicle moving at 100 kilometers per hour, it's catastrophic. But evolution never prepared it for asphalt and headlights. For most of its history, nothing this fast and this heavy existed in its world. Bears and wolves are lower to the ground, more agile, more likely to avoid roads altogether. Moose simply cross when they need to, as they always have, unaware that humans carve pavement through their territory and then blame them for not adapting. In these encounters, no one truly wins. The animal doesn't understand the threat. The human overestimates control. And physics finishes the argument. It's a stark reminder. Dominance in nature doesn't equal awareness. Even rulers of the forest become vulnerable when the rules change overnight. For a long time, scientists made a quiet assumption about moose. They thought they were simple, large herbivores, reactive, moving where food or weather pushed them. If a moose changed location, it was assumed to be following plants. If it avoided an area, the explanation was predators, terrain, or coincidence. That interpretation felt logical. It was also incomplete. Once GPS collars began tracking individual moose across multiple years, patterns started to emerge that didn't fit the wandering herbivore model. The same animals avoided the same roads, crossed rivers at the same narrow choke points, adjusted routes after hunting season, shifted ranges based on recurring human activity. They weren't drifting, they were choosing. In expanding suburban areas, researchers expected moose to retreat deeper into wilderness. Instead, many adapted. Feeding shifted toward nighttime hours. Road crossings happened during low traffic windows. Travel corridors narrowed to forest strips that minimized exposure. That isn't random movement. That's schedule adjustment. One of the biggest corrections came from how moose assess risk. They don't flee at every disturbance. They evaluate. Sound, intensity, direction, repetition. A lone hiker walking calmly might be ignored. Erratic movement triggers distance. Repeated noise in the same location, locked, avoided next season. Memory is involved, so is restraint. Compared to deer, which often bolt impulsively, moose conserve energy. They don't spook easily. And when they move, it's deliberate. That composure was once mistaken for dullness. It wasn't dullness. It was efficiency. The long face, the slow gait. The unreadable expression. Those visual cues misled researchers into equating size with simplicity. But intelligence in the wild doesn't always look playful or curious. Sometimes it looks like optimization. The uncomfortable correction wasn't that moose suddenly became smarter, it was that we finally started measuring the right things. The moose hadn't been unaware. We had. Strip away the drama, and the conclusion is simple. A healthy adult moose has no reliable natural predator. Not wolves, not bears, not winter. The real threats are accidents, disease, and humans, and even those aren't guaranteed outcomes. That's not because the moose is aggressive, it's because it breaks the equation. Think like a predator for a moment. Every hunt is math. Calories spent versus calories gained. Risk versus reward. Injury versus survival. Most prey animals fit neatly into that calculation. An adult moose does not. It isn't just large. It's structurally built to endure. Thick hide layered over dense muscle, bones engineered to carry enormous weight through snow and uneven terrain. A single well-placed kick can disable a hunter permanently. Even a successful attack often comes with injury. For a wolf pack, that's not victory, that's a gamble. Bears understand this too. They may test calves or weakened individuals, but a prime adult bull, that's a different scenario. The moose doesn't bolt blindly. It pivots, lowers its head, squares its body. And suddenly, the predator isn't chasing, it's reassessing. The environment compounds the imbalance. Deep snow slows smaller animals dramatically. The moose steps over it. Sub-zero cold drains energy from most mammals. The moose reduces movement and conserves. Food becomes scarce. It browses bark and woody plants others ignore. Winter doesn't weaken it. It filters out the competition. What makes this dominance unsettling is how understated it is. There are no theatrical roars, no dramatic territorial displays. The forest simply adjusts around its presence. Trails widen, predators reroute. Even humans redesign roads, install fencing, and lower speed limits because one animal refuses to yield to inconvenience. The moose doesn't conquer territory through conquest, it inherits it through inevitability. In a world that celebrates speed and aggression, the moose represents something quieter: durability, leverage, and structural advantage. And in the north, that strategy wins. The moose doesn't dominate through violence, it doesn't dominate through speed, it dominates through inevitability. Built for winter, engineered for leverage, intelligent enough to adapt, durable enough to endure, and large enough to make even predators recalculate. In the northern forests, power isn't loud, it's structural. And the moose is proof that sometimes the strongest strategy in nature isn't aggression, it's being impossible to move. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the rulers of the wild, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more cinematic wildlife stories. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.